Welcome back to the We Are Gods podcast. I am your host, Brix Glover. And on this podcast, I help high performers like yourself master your health and to build physiques that command respect. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review wherever you may be listening to this podcast. All right, so today we're going to be talking about inner strength, particularly how inner strength directly connects to your ability to build the physique that you've been trying to build over the last 5, 10, 15 years. I know for me, it took a decade for it to finally click for me and to reach my goal. This conversation is normally centered around diet and exercise, but the diet and exercise piece means nothing if your mind, if your emotions aren't in check. So we're gonna really dig deep on why it's important to focus as much, if not more, on developing mental and emotional fortitude, mental and emotional strength, as it is focusing on your diet and exercise. Because think about it like this, the physique that you're trying to build it's like trying to build a skyscraper, right? You can have all the amazing materials. You can have the best crew. You can have the most talented architects sculpt the most beautiful building. But if that building is built on sand, if that building is built on a faulty foundation, it takes nothing for that thing to crumble. The mental and emotional aspects of the journey, that inner fortitude, that inner strength, that is your foundation. And on top of that foundation is where you can build a solid physique that not just looks good, but is of substance. Your body is just the external manifestation of what's going on the inside. And we don't want to just willpower our way and force ourselves to go on these diets that are not sustainable or do these workouts that we can't commit to, because you can change your body in 6 months, but are you going to be able to sustain that? The foundation is your habits, your mindset, your rituals, right? Your sleeping patterns, right? We're going to talk about the intricate details of the mental and emotional part of this journey. And I'm going to give you practical tools to help you build that inner strength, because inner strength is a muscle just like any other muscle in your body. It takes practice, it takes intention, and it takes some sort of system, a program to follow that will ensure that you will build the necessary mental and emotional muscles. That way the physical will just fall in place. All right, so stay locked in. This is going to be an amazing episode. But before we get into that, I do want to let you guys know I am doing free coaching calls for specific qualified people. You can find a link in the show notes. I want to be a part of your journey. So selfishly, I'm doing the free calls for me because I'm trying to find people who are really ready to lock in. So if you're ready to lock in and you need some support and you want to run some things by me, make sure you click the link in the show notes to sign up for a free coaching call. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you. Anyway, so inner strength. I think we should start off by really defining what inner strength means, because it can sound like a corny term that gets thrown around very loosely, but I think there's some important elements to inner strength that when we discuss it, it's going to really promote the value of focusing on building these characteristics about yourself. Because the more you understand why the investment of time and energy and intention on building inner strength is going to ultimately get you to where you want to go, right? Get you the physique that you're looking for, get you the improvements in the areas of your life that you're looking to level up in, then you'll find the energy somehow to do these things, right? Because I wasn't taught mindfulness, right? I wasn't taught these things. I always thought in order to change my body, all I have to do is change what I eat. But I was never taught how to change what I eat permanently. I was never taught why I needed to change what I eat. I was never taught why I ate terrible shit in the first place. So truly understanding this stuff is really going to take you far in this journey. All right. So strap in and make sure you guys listen to this entire episode. Okay. First thing I want to do is I want to give a definition of inner strength. So inner strength is the mental and emotional fortitude that allows individuals to face challenges, overcome adversity, and pursue their goals with resilience and determination. Now I want to break that down because there's a few very important elements in that definition. The first thing I want to talk about is mental and emotional fortitude. Here's something about the life experience, right? Being alive. It's fucking hard. And I think the thing that separates the haves from the have-nots, right? The thing that separates people in the 2 percentile from the people in the 98 percentile is their relationship to comfort. If you are cozied up in life, if you have an aversion to challenges, your life is going to be mediocre as fuck. You're not going to excel at anything except being comfortable. So with that being said, understanding the ultimate truth about life, that it includes tough moments daily, especially if you're in the pursuit of anything big. With that understanding, it would make sense to invest the energy into developing your capacity to handle stress, to developing the ability to handle tough emotional moments. And trust me, every day, life presents you an opportunity to do that. But what happens with most of us is we try to avoid it. We don't want to deal with the uncomfortable moments. We want to fucking eat Doritos and ice cream instead because we don't want to deal with our emotions. We don't want to feel this shit. Now, that's the first pivot that you need to make mentally, is framing challenges, whether it's mental, emotional, physical challenges, as a gift. Once you start to look at discomfort as a gift, once you start to look at discomfort as medicine, it starts to change everything, right? It changes how you show up to these challenging moments, because these challenging moments are opportunity. And if you run away from them, what's going to happen is you're going to end up like Brix. This guy was addicted to comfort. He was addicted to pleasure. And because of that, he gained 150 pounds after high school. His confidence was nowhere. This guy had no confidence because he never challenged himself. He only did things that he was good at. He only did things that felt comfortable and things that felt easy for him. And because of that, anytime life presented a challenge to him, he failed. And he ran away, and he did not answer to that emotion that came up that was trying to tell him about his motherfucking self. But what happened was I had to break that cycle, right? I had to develop the self-awareness, and we're going to talk about that because that's a key element in developing inner strength. I had to develop the self-awareness to pick up on my patterns, to pick up on the fact that I was digging my own grave because of my mindset, because of my tendency to avoid uncomfortable things. So anyway, mental and emotional fortitude is absolutely necessary because the definition says it allows individuals to face challenges because challenges are baked into the human experience. And also, resilience and determination. These are all words that get fucking thrown around a lot, right? But you have to attach these words to your identity. You have to be a resilient motherfucker. You have to be a determined person. And that is a choice. It's a choice that you have to make in every moment that you're experiencing any sort of resistance from life. So when you feel shit, the heat getting turned up, whether that's at work or in your relationship or in your own inner world, how you show up to that moment is going to dictate what your life looks like. It's going to dictate whether you're building your confidence or you're destroying your confidence. Building inner strength requires a set of attributes that are absolutely necessary in order for you to evolve in this area of yourself. And these attributes are, and I mentioned some of them already, self-awareness, self-discipline, emotional intelligence. And I'm going to break down each of these. A positive mindset, for sure. I broke down self-awareness, and I think self-awareness is simply the ability to know what's going on in your mind, with your emotions, how you respond to things, what are your triggers, what are your thought habits, what are the patterns in your reactions to things. It's like just knowing things about yourself that help you navigate life situations more effectively, all right? Now, self-discipline is pretty self-explanatory. I look at discipline as the ability to choose what I want most over what I want now. The ability to delay gratification. And that shit is hard, especially when you want some fucking ice cream, but you also want a six pack, right? But having the awareness when you're in that moment that your choice is either going to get you closer to what you want most or further away from it, right? And normally giving into what you want now, and this honestly can apply to most situations in life, when you choose what you want now over what you want most, you are compromising yourself. And when you compromise yourself, you lose trust for yourself. We talk about trusting other people, but do you trust your motherfucking self? This is how confidence is built. Confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself, by building your trust for yourself. And the way you build trust for yourself is to show up, is to keep your promises to yourself. And the more self-discipline you develop, the more trust and the more confidence that you will build. And again, yes, this is going to build a masterful Greek god physique, but it's also going to make you more confident in the bedroom. It's going to make you a more confident partner. It's going to make you a more confident person in your career or in your business. How you do anything is how you do everything. So all of these mental and emotional muscles translate to almost every area of your life, which is why it's worth it. And I'm going to get into more practical ways to build this, but you got to understand what's happening here. So let's talk a little bit about emotional intelligence, because developing inner strength does require emotional intelligence. And if you don't feel like you're emotionally intelligent, don't worry, you can develop emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is simply recognizing your own emotions, right? And your triggers and how you respond to certain things, right? Certain stimuli. If someone is getting on your nerves, are you reactive? Do you suppress your emotions? What is your response in certain situations? You have to be really aware of what's happening there. And another element of emotional intelligence is being able to empathize and read other people's emotions and use them as a mirror. Like, for instance, if you notice that when someone else is angry, it makes you frustrated, the ability to recognize that is emotional intelligence. And this is a powerful tool, not just for developing inner strength, but for effectively navigating life. Like being a leader, most of us are leaders in some capacity in different areas of our life, whether that be our families, whether that be at work. And knowing how to manage people, oh man, it's such a valuable skill. And developing emotional intelligence is absolutely key for becoming the best version of yourself, right? Self-mastery, which ultimately developing inner strength is all about. This is an element of self-mastery, but that we'll save that for an entirely different episode. So another element of developing inner strength will require courage, because in order for you to build this Greek god physique, right? In order for you to really reach your goals, it's going to take a certain level of sacrifice. There's going to be situations where you're going to have to be okay with people not understanding your choices. And that takes courage, because we're social animals. And the idea of someone not accepting us or not understanding us or ridiculing us, it doesn't feel good. But you have to develop that ability, because what you're pursuing, 95% of the people in your world are not going to be pursuing the same thing. They're not going to understand it, because again, most people are so addicted to the comforts. They want to go out every weekend and drink alcohol and eat desserts and pizza at 3 a.m. They want to do that. But us, you and I, we have a different set of goals. We have a different set of standards. So we can't expect to be understood or even accepted by most people. And that takes courage. You have to have courage to step into the black sheep identity, right? That's something I had to do during my weight loss journey. It was like, I had to be okay with being the person at the table. Let's say I'm in a social setting and everyone's ordering Hennessy and margaritas and wings and whatnot. I'm the guy that's ordering a pizza, and maybe I'll get a vodka soda, one vodka soda, or I'll get a White Claw. I step into that situation expecting people to have little smart remarks. Because you know why? I pride myself on being the black sheep. It was something that I had already pre-decided to attach to my identity, and that takes courage. I had to step into this world expecting not to fit in. But I also recognize that most of the people I looked up to, they always say that they never fit in any social circle. So I associated success with not fitting in with the masses. And that's a part of your identity you have to accept if you want to develop inner strength, if you want to achieve higher level goals that than most people are able to achieve. Now, I want to give some practical examples of inner strength and how these scenarios actually help you develop inner strength. One of the most practical ways to develop inner strength is showing up to your workouts with that intention, right? Yes, you are working your body. You are strenuously training your body, but you are also strenuously training your mind, because you got to understand this. When you show up to the deadlift platform, right? And you're doing reps of, I don't know, let's say you're doing reps of 12 at 315. And your body is way more resilient than your mind. Let me say it like that. Your mind typically tells you to stop way before your body is truly at its capacity. So understanding that, every time you hear that voice in your head telling you to stop, right? Let's say you get to rep 8 on your deadlifts and your mind's, no, you don't have any more. But physically you have some more left in the tank. In that moment, that 9th rep, that 10th rep, that 11th rep, you are developing mental fortitude. You are developing inner strength because you were able to push past the resistance of your mind, which then overrode that mental program that's telling you, oh, nah, this is the max of your strength. And you overrode that by physically pushing yourself beyond the limitation that your mind was trying to put on you. You've developed inner strength. Handling criticism. This is another practical way to develop inner strength, because if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to develop a physique that is admired, you're going to have people who are going to talk shit about you. What I talked about in the black sheep example. Accepting the criticism and even finding a way to find value in it. Oh, let me tell you, my YouTube audience has helped me grow so much, right? Because I used to post vlogs 3 to 4 days a week. So my YouTube audience were invited into my life. And they saw moments I was vacationing, me and my ex were hanging out. They saw me hanging out with my kids. And they would give me feedback. And a lot of the times the criticism, it didn't really affect me unless it was true. But having the mental fortitude, having the courage to accept criticism and really leveraging it, right? Accepting it as truth. The hard truths, you have to be comfortable accepting hard truths. Now, if it's some bullshit and it's not true, then obviously you just fucking release it. You gotta let people talk shit. And if, again, anyone in any sort of leadership position, you know the nature of people. People are gonna talk shit, and you have to develop a resilience to that. That shit can't affect you. You gotta let people who are on that frequency do what they do, because we're on a different frequency. That's another very practical way to develop inner strength is handling criticism, receiving feedback without becoming defensive, and using it to constructively improve yourself. All right, so the next thing is overcoming personal loss. Now, there's a spectrum of personal loss here. We can be talking about you losing $100, or in my case, recently I lost a very expensive yoga mat, or we can be talking about something a little bit more detrimental, like losing a parent or a close friend, right? You have to understand, again, that challenges like this, loss, is an inevitable part of the human experience. And how you show up to these very emotional, trying moments will determine if you're building your inner strength or if you're being a pussy. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody, but if it does, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, right? But here's the thing, like when life is challenging you, having the awareness to accept it, radically accepting when life is kicking your ass and you're being present and you're allowing yourself to feel it. You're not running to 7-Eleven and getting 10 bags of chips and a Haagen-Dazs ice cream. You're sitting with your emotions. You're feeling it, because in order to heal, you have to feel. And a lot of us, we try to suppress our emotions. We don't want to feel that shit. And you cannot do that. Not if you want to level up in life, not if you want to develop inner strength. You have to feel it, because the resistance that you feel from these tough moments are the things that help you develop inner strength. That's like an emotional deadlift, right? A 600-pound emotional deadlift is dealing with loss, is dealing with any sort of emotional trying moments. You got to be present for it. You can't go touch the bar and act like you're going to lift it and then instead you walk away from the platform. No, we got to show up. We have to show up for ourselves, because we have to show up for our families. Most of us have a lot of responsibility. All right. So being intentional about developing these emotional muscles is going to take you a very long way. Now, another element of developing inner strength that a lot of us, especially us men, we don't like is getting support. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. I would be nowhere if it wasn't for my support system. I have amazing people in my life that when I am dealing with the hardest of the hard moments, I can pick up my phone and call one of several people that will help me. But I used to have this bad habit of dealing with my shit on my own, and I had to train myself not to do that anymore, because that was leading to my emotional eating, leading to self-loathing and guilt and shame and all of these things that I would not have an outlet for, and I would just hold on to it. And when you hold on to these negative emotions, they are stored in your body, and they usually inspire you to do things that are very detrimental to yourself. So developing the ability to reach out for help, to be vulnerable, that's true strength. We were taught that, oh, we gotta be a man. Like, nah, you have to be okay with leaning on other people. We are pack animals. We are designed to support one another. And you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're also cheating someone you love out of the opportunity to be there for you. Trust me, people who love you, they want to be there for you. All right, so don't try to carry the load on your own. Let's share the load. And if you're my friend listening to this right now and you're dealing with something, please call me, because I will answer. The tools that you'll use to learn what you need to learn about yourself in order to develop this inner strength that I'm talking about, there's several. The ones that work for me, mindfulness and journaling. These are the two most powerful tools that I've ever come across to help me develop and evolve mentally and emotionally. Because in order for me to change these elements of myself, I had to learn things about myself. I had to deepen my knowledge of self. And having a systematic way to intentionally reflect on myself was a powerful thing for me. So I journal pretty much every day at this point. And I also meditate every single day. Mindfulness meditation is what I do 90% of the time. And it started off as a 3-minute practice. And so did my journaling exercise. So if you're currently at the place where you do not journal and you do not have any sort of mindfulness habit, start small. And I'm gonna do episodes on this stuff specifically, but understand that your life, your body, your financial state, your relationship state is built on your habits, your routines, your daily disciplines. There is not a daily discipline that will have more of an impact on your life than journaling and meditation. If you need support with this stuff, one of the best meditation books I've ever read was by one of my good friends. His name is Light Watkins. It's called Bliss More. I'm going to put a link to it in the show notes. Check that out. There's all sorts of resources about journaling. I don't think I've ever read a book about journaling per se, but I started my journaling habit with just gratitude journaling every day. I would just, first thing in the morning, write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. As corny as it sounds, it is a powerful practice, and I suggest you making it a part of your identity. I believe every person, whether it's journaling in a book, whether it's a voice note, it doesn't matter what it is, some sort of documentation of a self-reflection, I think, can serve every human being. All right. But I don't want to make this episode too long because I probably already did. Let me know in the comments section if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on any of the podcast streaming services, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Brix Glover and give me some feedback. I want to make these episodes better. I'm going all in with podcasting. This is the platform that I enjoy the most. And I think this is the platform that the person who I'm trying to reach is going to appreciate the most as well. All right. So make sure you leave us a review on Apple, on Spotify, on YouTube. And I look forward to continuing this journey with you guys. Make sure you sign up for the free coaching call and stay tuned because we're just getting started. Peace.